Good morning. This is Giovanni Gallucci, joined by Chloe Dawn and Rachel Donovan, and this is the Daily Trend Report.
Morning, Gio. Drove in on hot pavement, engine still waking up. Good to sit down.
Morning. Cold brew, sunglasses on. I'm ready.
Of course you are. Today, the feed is getting quieter, and the industry's finally saying it out loud. The color in your product just turned into a marketing story, and one content section on who's actually making people show up. Rachel, start us.
So Eddie and Travis both flagged the same number overnight, and it stopped me cold. 55% of people say they post less than they did 5 years ago. Nearly half have deleted an app over stress.
Read that twice. The public feed everybody built their reach on is quietly emptying of actual humans.
They didn't leave, though. They just went private. DMs, group chats, close friends.
Right, the conversation didn't die. It moved rooms. And here's the part that matters for a small operator. When reach drops, the reflex is post more. That's pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it.
It's funny. The platform's getting less social hurts the giant more than it hurts us.
It does. A big brand rents its reach. It buys a way into a public feed. When that feed goes quiet, the giant's whole model gets more expensive and less trusted overnight. The small operator who built one real room doesn't feel it the same way.
And Travis said the real talk moved to places like Reddit. A whole 2026 playbook for it this week.
Because Reddit's one of the last rooms where people still argue in the open, and it's where the AI answers go looking now. But Reddit buries a brand that shows up like a billboard. You earn a seat by being useful for months first. There's no shortcut version of that.
So if Postmore is dead, what replaces it?
Stop chasing the public like. Build the thing people save. A liked post is gone in one scroll. A saved post is somebody planning to come back to you. That's a standing appointment you didn't have to pay for.
Saves over vanity reach. That's less performance, more use.
And it's a completely different content brief. A public share has to make the sharer look good. A private send just has to be useful or funny enough that one person thinks of one other person. That's a lower bar and a warmer signal.
Eddie had a second piece of this too. The AI answer engines. Brands optimizing only for Google are going invisible inside the answer.
That's the same shift wearing a different hat. Being findable split into two jobs now. Rank in search and get mentioned in the places the models read. Earned mentions are the new links. And where do the models read? The open rooms, Reddit, reviews, trade press, podcasts. The quiet public feed isn't where you get found anymore.
So the owned list stops being a nice to have.
It's the whole game. If you spent 3 years building followers and 0 years building an email list, this week is the wake-up call. You don't own those followers. The platform does, and the platform is losing the humans.
There's a stat in Eddie's file I keep chewing on. Only 14% of social pros feel their company actually uses its social data.
And that's a real edge for a small operator. The insight is sitting right there in your comments and your DMs. At a big company, it dies in a dashboard nobody reads. A founder who actually reads the room every week is faster than a competitor 100 times the size.
There's a trap sitting in here, though. Everybody's answer this week is put the founder on camera.
Yeah, and I want to be careful with that one. The founder face is real, but it's become the reflex everybody reaches for. It's not the only human move, and it's usually not the sharpest. Don't let it be the default just because it's the easy thing to say.
Okay, 3 things you can actually do today.
1. Build one genuinely useful reference post, the kind people bookmark. A saved post pulls someone back next week. Make the thing worth keeping, not just worth a glance. 2. Stand up a close friends list or a broadcast channel and post there first. The people who opt into the private room are worth more than the public feed you're shouting into. 3. Put a real reason to join your email or text list right inside your best post. The feed is rented ground. Feed it into something you actually own.
Kendall's clean label report had the money signal for me. IFF just sold off its natural colors and botanicals business, about $170 million in revenue, to a specialist called SuanNutra.
On its own, a boring ingredients deal. In context, a flare going up over the whole category.
Because of the deadline. 6 petroleum dyes are supposed to be out of American food by the end of this year. Red 40, the yellows, the blues.
And natural color costs 3 to 10 times more, and it misbehaves. it shifts with heat, fades in light. So when a specialist starts buying up that capability, that tells you the reformulation wave has real weight behind it. This isn't a press release.
Kendall said about 40% of the sector already pledged to switch.
40% pledged, and the giants are the slowest because their legacy products are the hardest to change. A beetroot red, a spirulina blue, those aren't spec sheet swaps. They're ingredient stories a shopper actually feels. The small brand that already uses them has been sitting on the story and not telling it.
So the big players are stuck in the lab.
Stuck in the lab through 2027, most of them. Slow, expensive, fussy. And that gap is the whole opening for a small, clean brand.
Because if your red already comes from beetroot, you can say it now, and they can't.
That's it. But here's where I want to push. The move isn't to reformulate your label. That's a factory job. The move is to make the color you already have into content.
Meaning, show it.
Show it. Don't write colored with vegetables. Film the beet bleeding into the bowl. Film the spirulina swirling blue. Let people watch the color come from real food. That's a video a giant mid-reformulation physically can't post.
And a shopper gets it instantly. No chemistry lesson.
None. The word anthocyanin loses. The pink is from beets, wins.
And it can be a running thing, not one post.
It should be. Make it a recurring reveal. Every few days a new one. The chard, the turmeric, the butterfly pea. You build a little library of proof, and the audience starts showing up to see what the color's really made of. That's a habit, not a one-off.
Meanwhile, the big brands are quiet on all of it.
They've got to be. You can't post a beet reveal when your product still glows from red 40 and won't stop until 2027. Their silence is your airtime. Take it.
Why now, though? Why not wait until the rule actually bites?
Because the window closes. Sometime in 2027, the giants catch up. And then real color is table stakes, not a difference. Right now, it's a difference. One caution, though. Don't overclaim. And don't rush a real product change to chase this. If you're already there, be loud. If you're not there yet, do the work first.
Here's what to actually do with all that.
1. Shoot the color reveal. The beet, the spirulina, the pour, the moment it turns. Show, don't say. The demonstration is the proof. 2. Make one post that teaches why real color costs more and behaves differently. You explaining the trade-off makes you the honest voice. Big food can't run that post. 3. Lead with the surprising source. Your blue can come from algae is a hook. Open on the thing that makes somebody stop and go, wait, really? Content section. The most instructive thing in the tactics files this week is about who actually makes people show up. Rachel, the American Eagle one.
Right. American Eagle did their back-to-school push, and instead of one big campaign, they ran 3. 3 ambassadors mapped to 3 different Gen Z subcultures, including the World Cup kid Lamine Yamal.
And that's the tell. They stopped writing one message for a whole generation. Because a generation isn't one room anymore. It's the same thing we opened the show with. The audience scattered into small rooms, and one broadcast doesn't reach them.
So you cut for the room, not the crowd.
You cut for the room. Now the counterexample, because it's just as useful. Eddie's file had Hanes, a 125-year-old basics brand, launching loud innuendo creative. Getting caught with your pants down is the whole bit.
Bold, for a package of undershirts.
Bold and risky. Because shock with no product reason underneath it just burns trust. A commodity brand does need tension to get noticed. But the edge has to point back at something true about the product, or it's noise in a costume.
And audiences smell the costume.
Every time. Same reason they discount the giant celebrity placement. Eddie's file also had Samsung handing Spider-Man a phone. Big spectacle, obvious rental. People clock the price tag and scroll on.
Kendall and Eddie both had MasterCard too. Handed a whole food series to foodie creators instead of making it themselves.
Same lesson from the other side. They gave up the brand voice to get discovery, because a creator who lives the category reads native, and a brand account reads like a brand account. The Watch Out is a payments company earning its way into a food story it has no business in. If the creator carries it, fine. If the logo's the point, it flops.
So borrow the culture, not the celebrity.
Borrow the culture. It reads native. The rented star reads like the ad it is.
There was a cheaper version of that too. Dunkin' paired with a fashion label, Park, to ride a food and style crossover.
And that's the small operator version of the same move. A legacy coffee brand borrows a smaller label's cool for the price of a collaboration, not a superstar fee. That's rentable relevance done right. Because both sides bring a real audience. You're not buying attention, you're trading it.
The thread back to the top of the show is right there.
It's the whole episode. The feed fractured into rooms. The brands winning this week stopped shouting one message into an empty square and started making something specific for a specific room. Whether that's a color reveal for the label readers or 3 cuts for 3 tribes, it's the same discipline. 3 moves before we wrap. 1. Stop writing one post for everyone. Cut 2 or 3 versions for the specific rooms your audience actually lives in. One message no longer covers a generation. 2. If you're going to be provocative, tie the edge to something true about the product. Shock with no reason to believe underneath it costs you the trust you're trying to build. 3. Borrow culture, not celebrity. Embedding in a real community reads native and costs less. A rented star reads like an ad, and audiences price it as one. That's the show. If today lit anything up, the content stack is what I build. Short-form video, carousels, the articles, made to get saved and sent, not just scrolled past. I can build the whole thing for your brand, or a daily trend report like this one. Giovanni Gallucci, GallucciNet. Find me at gallucci.net or DM at galluccinet on Instagram or LinkedIn. Talk tomorrow.